My name is Crystal Bagwell. I've lived in Boulder for about 8 years. I think that having lived in California and then moved to this part of the country puts a different lens on it, for sure. What started this conversation with the Boulder Monitor was I was at an event and I mentioned something. It's kind of a dinner conversation that pops up with friends and stuff, and it's just kind of a funny story. That's our story, but like I said, maybe puts a little lens on it. We moved to Wyoming about 15 years ago. My husband's from Southern California. I'm from Northern California. We met in Oregon. We had moved from Oregon. Our son was about 6 years old. We lived in a pretty ethnic part of Eugene, Oregon, heavy Latino and Asian. My son probably being the minority in his school. And when we moved to Sheridan, Wyoming, in a couple days, at 6 years old, he looked around and he said, "Where are all the brown people?" And so it's just kind of a funny story for us, but it makes us think about maybe how sheltered we are in this part of the country and just how different that what's going on in the rest of the country. Maybe not everyone in this part of the country is acutely as aware. So we went to this We Care event here in Boulder.
Was that the 21st of Veterans Park?
Yes, yeah. And so interesting things have come out of that, even just for us. So since I last talked to the Monitor, my husband had an experience, and one of the things that came out of the We Care event was one of the participants, the lady who put it together, Kia, said, I need others to hold me accountable for if I don't feel comfortable with it, if I don't like it, to be brave enough to say something, right? And I think that's hard for us all. My husband just had an interaction the other day where someone we know quite well said something just so off the cuff and it was super derogatory, but I think because we had gone to that event, it was in my husband's mind to be brave and say something, and so he called him on it, checked him on it, which I thought was great. And I think you ask again, maybe what our goals are. Well, that was it. That was something positive that came from that. Somebody, and that person didn't, when he was checked on, it goes, well, that's, not quite what I meant. Well, but that's what you said. And it's really offensive. And so maybe we educated one more person on, so maybe that's our goal, is to just keep talking and educate. And maybe that person will educate one more person. We talk about these unconscious biases. We all have them. And for people to say, I'm not racist. Well, we all kind of are. We just don't know. And if we face that and figure out how we can be better and move forward through that, then that's the goal, right? To move forward. And I can remember I have a friend whom I love, grew up in a really huge city back east, so it's diverse. And my husband is of Mediterranean descent. And when he met him for the first time, he goes, "Oh, I didn't know you married a darkie." And I don't think he meant anything, just he noticed he had darker skin. I mean, I'm pretty white. And so next to me, when we stand next to each other, I mean, it's obvious we have different color skins. But, I reflect back on that, and I know this individual, and I love this individual, and I know this individual is open and welcoming to everybody. But again, it's those type of cultural little things that he was completely unaware. As far as the national conversation, I would say one, educate yourself, right? Because I see a lot of, this is what's concerning me right now about race is, and not just race, a whole bunch of stuff going on in our country right now, but that when we learn new facts, it's okay to change our mind and our opinion and grow from that. And I'm seeing a lot of double downing on, that's just because I'm presented with new facts, and not changing to grow with the new facts, or learning to maybe extrapolate that information down a bit. And so how can we tweak this to still maintain the narrative that is always run, and so that's what's concerning for me right now. So I think maybe our role is to educate ourselves in a more open way and be able to talk about that like we're talking now. We don't have to talk about it. It's not going on here in Boulder, but we should be talking about it. and maybe that will open up avenues for us to maybe help on the national level somehow. You know, just like the instance that just happened from the We Care event to here just recently with my husband, and that I think he approached that situation differently because of the We Care event and the news and what's going on, and we're just more aware. So ignorance is bliss. He just educated one more person. So maybe that person, again, like we said before, would educate one more person. So I don't think ignorance is an excuse. I think the conversation's bolder. I think that, how was it put? I read or saw something that was, it's not that these instances are happening more frequently. It's just that now we have technology that's capturing it, right? And I think there's lots of different layers on what's going on right now. You know, very systemic, and then it kind of bleeds out into all these other little things that stuff I'm probably not even aware of. But I think we gotta keep pushing forward, and though old adage, things might get worse before they get better. I think though I'm extremely hopeful in our young people, and not just our young people, but people in general. I think that, you know, we're not going to stop until the business is done, right? Until the work is done. I think that we've reached again that fork in the road where, as a country, in order for us to progress, we have to figure this out. We just have to, and we have to educate. People have to educate each other, you know, and look and find a way. We're so separated right now. There's a big divide. We have to figure out how to come to the middle, you know, on a lot of things. Race being one of them, because it's just been under the surface for a long time. We've made great leaps and bounds. I'm not dismissing that, but there's lots of work to do.